James Robertson Justice was a popular British character actor in British films of the 1940s, 1950s and 1960s. Biography: the son of an Aberdeen-born geologist and named after his father, James Justice was born in Lee, a suburb of Lewisham in South London, in 1907. Educated at Marlborough College in Wiltshire, Justice studied science at University College, London, but left after a year and became a geology student at the University of Bonn, where he again left after just a year. He spoke many languages including Spanish, French, Greek, Danish, Russian, German, Italian, Dutch and Gaelic. After university, Justice returned to the UK in 1927, and became a journalist with Reuters in London, alongside Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond. After a year he emigrated to Canada, where he worked as an insurance salesman, taught English at a boys' school, became a lumberjack and mined for gold. He came back to England penniless, working his passage on a Dutch freighter. On his return to Britain he served as secretary of the British Ice Hockey Association in the early 1930s and managed the national team at the 1932 European Championships in Berlin to a 7th-place finish. He combined his administrative duties in 1931 Euro 32 with a season as goaltender with the London Lions. Justice was entered in a Wolseley Hornet Special in the JCC 1000-mile race at Brooklands on 3rd and 4th May 1932. The car was unplaced. The following year J. Justice competed in the Brighton Speed Trials. Justice's machine tallula noisily expired before the end of the course, and was pushed back to the start by way of the arcade under the terrace. The Brighton event was won by Whitney Straight, and according to Dennis Jenkinson, flitting round the periphery of the team was James Robertson Justice. In February 1934 Straight took delivery of a new Maserati. Jimmy Justice went off to Italy to collect the first car, which was 8 cm number 3011. Motorsport reported in 1963, "We remember him at Lewes with a GN and in a relay race with a Wolseley Hornet." Justice left Britain again to become a policeman for the League of Nations in the territory of the Tsar Basin. After the Nazis came to power, he fought in the Spanish Civil War on the Republican side. It was here that he first grew his signature trademark bushy beard, which he retained throughout his career. On return to Britain, he joined the Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve, but after sustaining an injury in 1943, he was pensioned off. Love of Scotland. He married nurse Dilys Hayden in Chelsea in 1941, and she gave birth to his son James. On his return from the war he reinvented himself with stronger Scottish roots. Feeling strongly about his Scottish ancestry, he claimed to have been born in 1905 under a distillery on the Isle of Skye, Scotland. He unsuccessfully contested the North Angus and Mearns constituency for the Labour Party in the 1950 general election. Acting career. Justice took up acting after joining the Players Club in London. The club, under the chairmanship of Leonard Sachs, who was latterly chairman of BBC's television's The Good Old Days, would stage Victorian music hall nights. Standing in for Sachs one night, he was recommended for the film For Those in Peril in the summer of 1944. As an actor, with his domineering personality, bulky physique, and rich, booming voice, he was soon established as a major supporting player in British comedy films. His first leading role was as headmaster in the film Vice Versa, written and directed by Peter Ustinov, who cast him partly because he had been a collaborator of my father's at Reuters. Justice was the demanding surgeon Sir Lancelot Spratt in the Doctor series of films of the 1950s and 1960s, beginning with Doctor in the House in 1954, playing a role for which he is possibly best remembered. In his films he was sometimes credited as Seamus Marsquad or Niall Fusag, James A. Justice, James Robertson or James Robertson Justice. On August 31, 1957, he helped launch the TV station Scottish Television, hosting the channel's first show, This Is Scotland. From 1957 to 1960, and again from 1963 to 1966, he was rector of the University of Edinburgh. In the 1961 war film The Guns of Navarone, Robertson Justice had a co-starring role as well as narrating the story. He appeared in 4 films with Navarone co-star Gregory Peck, including Captain Horatio Hornblower, and most notably, Moby Dick, in which Robertson Justice played the one-armed sea captain also attacked by the white whale. In the film, Robertson Justice's character tries to befriend Captain Ahab, but is amazed and repulsed by Ahab's obsessive pursuit of Moby Dick. Later life. After a series of affairs and the drowning of his son in 1949 at his watermill home in Whitchurch, Hampshire, Justice separated from his wife. She eventually divorced him in 1968. He met actress Irene von Meerendorf in 1960 on the set of The Ambassadress, and they remained together, eventually marrying in 1975, 3 days before he died. Not long after completing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in 1968, Justice suffered a severe stroke, which signaled the beginning of the end for his career. He suffered a further series of strokes, which left him unable to work, and he died penniless in 1975. His ashes were buried in a North Scotland moor near his former residence. A biography called James Robertson Justice What's the Bleeding Time? Was published by Tomahawk Press on March 3, 2008. It was written by James Hogg, Robert Sellers and Howard Watson. Filmography. References. External links: James Robertson Justice at the Internet Movie Database, Brit Moivia James Robertson Justice, Gazetteer for Scotland James Robertson Justice, Whitchurch.org.uk The official town website for Whitchurch, Hampshire.